Hi everyone. Well, this week I had the dubious pleasure of rewatching Smokey and the Bandit from 1977. I will try to keep that sound to a minimum. I'm going through my notes as I give give this review. Yeah, at that time, the time that I saw it in the drive-in, I was that summer I turned 21. So I was right in the demographic that they were looking for. I was right in there, yes, of course. Oh, of course, um, country music, and I wasn't into country music. I hated it. Um, in fact, if you want to know what the 70s were like, watch this movie. They were just as awful as this movie. Really. Um, there is a whole lot of focus on things like this. The song that is the soundtrack of this movie, which is a novelty song, which I found out is in fact a thing. I actually looked it up. What a novelty song is. Definitely, um, Eastbound and Down or whatever that thing was called is a novelty song, sung by a singer who was popular at the time. Country music, yes, it endures. And boy, did it endure in the 70s, along with disco. Ugh. Anyway, this does not have anything to do with disco, that's for sure. Um, However, there are many things that are so 70s in this movie. You open to the sight of different parts of a truck and the sound of a truck revving up, all this kind of thing. So I'm thinking to myself, that reminds me so much of that dumb movie that Spielberg made. The one about the truck, the killer truck. And now I can't think of his name. I think it's just called The Truck, right? Something like that. Anyway, the women in this movie are about like the ones who would be in the truck in that movie. Because you've got, oh, I'll get to that later. Let me just talk about the blinding onslaught of 70 hair and clothes that greets you after you see the truck, after you look at the different parts of the truck. It's just like, oh my God, look at all that poly. Oh, I can't believe we did that with our hair. Oh my God, that's horrible. I mean, it was really hard to look at the matching polyester light blue suits of Paul Williams and Tall Guy. Okay, I mean, these are the guys who challenge the bandit to move truckloads of a truckload of Coors east of Texas. Can you imagine? Well, that was a thing back then. You could not move. It was bootlegging, apparently. It never occurred to me at the time that this alleged, how do they call it on Wikipedia? They call it an action comedy road film. That this action comedy road film was also a heist movie. They're basically engaged in illegal activity. It's a crime film too. How about that? So they're pulling off this big crime, this big bet, to defeat the law because the law back in the 70s sucked. Fuck the police. Yeah, right. Oh, I forgot to mention that, of course, it's the 70s and it's 1977. So by then, the hippies were gone. That was over. So over. I mean, there were a few who hung on, but not many. I mean, they were just considered sort of curiosities from the old days, so to speak. Um, and instead of calling police pigs, the uh, the young upstarts called them Smokey. And people were using CB radios to communicate like that. That was very 70s. And I remember my boyfriend at the time, I guess he was my boyfriend, my roommate, my boyfriend, my fuck buddy, I don't know what he was. Nice guy though. So yeah, and yeah, another thing about this movie, the depiction of women in general is just abysmal. I mean, the first woman you see, I think, is the wife of Cletus, the guy who drives the truck. And I have her description here. His wife is, of course, harried, burdened with children, and and their endless demands, hair in curlers, etc. You can fill in the etc. Okay, right. I started keeping track as I watched this movie of how women come off of this. Um. Anyway, having said that, it's mostly a bunch of car chases, and ultimately ended up being one of the most boring movies I've seen in ages. Um, it does not age well. Period. Jackie Gleason plays the antagonist, who is reptilian in his disgusting, the disgusting things that he says and does. And he is also, ironically, always calling his son an idiot and disclaiming that he is the father, when in fact he is an idiot, as he demonstrates on so many occasions during this movie. So it is ironic how idiotic he is, and calling his son an idiot is like calling the pot black, the kettle calling the pot black. Yeah, yeah, dude. Listen to yourself. Um, yeah, the the jokes don't work most of the time. Most of the time, they're just, by today's standards, this is a pretty lame ass movie. Um, and with the perspective of many decades, I have to say, not a good movie. Yet, ironically, there was something in here about it opened, of course, in drive-in theaters. That was where the initial screenings were. So it's totally appropriate to do this as part of this blogathon. And across the southern United States, not a surprise, of course, it was very popular because country music is very popular in the southern part of the United States, I guess, and a lot of country singers come from the South. Don't look at me. It's true, I guess. I don't know. I haven't done a formal study. Um, anyway, it prompted them to make it a nationwide release, grossing $127 million, $512 million in 2024, against a 4.3 million, 17.3 million in 2024 budget. I think they mean dollars, right? Obviously, they didn't remake it. Becoming the second highest grossing domestic film of 1977 in the US behind Star Wars. Wow. Wow. All I can say is if that guy thought Bullet was boring, he should see this movie. This is the dullest movie with car chases I've ever seen. And oh yeah, while I'm at it, the various female parts. I have a whole thing here. Sorry about the noise. I wrote, it's safe to say that this would not pass the Bechdel test or any contemporary um, filmmaker's test at all. Um, where the heck? I'll cut these parts out. Oh yeah, there's Cletus on the phone. His wife's nagging him to come back home, of course, to her curlered, harried, child-burdened head. I did love the line, I don't care if your name is Broderick Crawford. That one made me laugh. Yeah, I'm really starting to wonder where I put. Oh, here it is. List of the women in the movie so far. Harried, curlered, despondent wife. Cool entertainer girl. That's Sally Field, who was cool in this movie. I did like her. But, she's in this movie, unfortunately. Old ladies with kind hearts. Prostitutes. a waitress in hot pants and a waitress behind a diner counter. A gaggle of giggling girls holding a big banner that says something like "Go Bandit." Yeah, let me tell you. Oh, it's always nice to go by the truck so the guys up in the cab can spot those beavers. Do I need to explain what that means? No, of course not. So, in the days before upskirting with an iPhone or whatever, you had truckers looking down on women in miniskirts or hot pants so they could spot those beavers. Fucking A. Oh, let's see. I love when Sally gives the cop the finger. Loved it then, anyhow. I've only seen it numerous times since. Yeah, I mean, everything kind of loses its impact after you've seen it for the. I don't know how many times I've actually watched this movie. Not that many when you come right down to it. There are just certain scenes that are funny. That my husband loves the scene with the El Diablo, which it's typical typical of the movie at its most palatable, let's say. Okay, and oh yeah, of course, the runaway bride, which right away tells you marriage it sucks, relationships suck. The girl, oh yeah, the girl who was the girlfriend of the guy who's in that big motorcade that's supposed to block the road, being organized by one of the many people that Bandit knows um, by CB. It's like the old fashioned. It's like the internet in a way, but before there was an internet. It's just a big community of people who use CB radios. Anyway, a lot of them are truckers. Truckers use CB radios, and people would kind of mistake themselves as being part of this. I think it was just a fantasy. It was a fantasy. It's like living a fantasy, thinking you're part of this trucking community. Well, really, you're not. You're just along for the ride, so to speak. But what is movies, not fantasy, so often? Um, okay, yeah, marriage takes it on the chin, that's for sure. I mean, there aren't any happy married people in this thing. All we have is Cletus's nagging wife, who, I wouldn't want to be in her shoes. Um, plus, all these little helpful, hot chicks that he has stashed all over the place with names like Little Beaver if they're on, there's a trucker. I forgot to mention there's a female trucker, but her handle is Little Beaver. So again, Beaver, Beaver, Beaver. Well, at least it wasn't Pussy Galore. Well, that was earlier. That was the 60s. Okay, so 4 miles to go. Shit. And 7 of the longest minutes of my life. It felt like. I swear to God, the 4 hour, um, what is it? Lawrence of Arabia felt shorter than this movie. Um, I'm exaggerating only a little. Yeah, ultimately at the end, they make the run. What a big surprise, right? After the cops go through various stupid maneuvers trying to catch them, they never do. Um, Jackie Gleason and his stupid son, of course, are defeated. Uh, Bandit gets to say "fuck you" for one final time in his own special way, and Sally Field joins him in their hot pursuit of, I guess it's clam chowder going to New England, which is not bootlegging, by the way. So they have turned away from a life of crime and legitimized their service. So, and in the meantime, Cletus says, "You're crazy, and I'm divorced." Well, I guess that's the happy ending, isn't it? To go off in a car and live like a bandit, as if. Yeah, yeah, as if. Ah, yeah. To say that I was not delighted by this movie is not saying enough. It's not very good. Makes me wish I had chosen another drive-in movie. I actually saw Annie Hall and Catch 22 at drive-in theaters. Um, those were those probably have cringeworthy moments as well for different reasons, but we won't go there now. All right, this has been a long one, but I had to get that. I have to get these things on the record somewhere. So thanks for listening and watching. Take care. Be seeing you.